Well, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another vlog. Did you ever think you'd see another one of these? I'll be honest with you, I really didn't think so myself. I hadn't planned on it, but things change, and especially I've found over the years with me, my mind changes a lot. It's just kind of the way that it is. But anyway, let's talk about stuff for a minute. So it's been roughly 3 weeks, at least according to YouTube. It's been 3 weeks since the last vlog. So I guess it wasn't the longest period of time that I ever went on my YouTube channel of not putting up videos. Although the last time that happened, it wasn't because I wanted to stop. It's just how it happened, motivation and whatnot, which is kind of what this particular time frame was all about. It was really just a matter of me not feeling motivated, me being buried under the weight of my own personal obligations. And when I say personal obligations, I mean like literally obligations I put on myself. You got to watch all these videos on YouTube, and you got to play these games, and you got to, you've bought movies, you got to watch them, you got to watch this, you got Netflix, why don't you go do that? You got books to read. I mean, I got so much shit to do, and yet I find so little time for them. I don't mean that I don't have the time, I just find so little of that time to really dedicate to those things. I've got all the time in the world. I don't have a life. I don't have a social life. So I've got all the time in this place here to watch things and read things and play things, and sometimes I just don't do it. I end up on the couch watching YouTube, falling asleep half of the night, staying up the other half of the night. I'm pretty sleepy right now as it is. I'm not sure if that'll come through visually on this video, but I really only got a couple of decent hours of sleep last night, and I'm on vacation right now, and so it had been my hope to get some sleep, but then I get over here on this computer and I'm playing Gmod or something. Anyway, I'll get into some of that here in a minute, because I want this vlog to kind of cover a little bit of everything that's been going on. Let's just start with the deep stuff. I think it was the weekend before last. I was sick for 2 days. It's rare that I ever miss more than one day of work. To miss a couple of days in a row is just unheard of almost for me. So, but it just seemed to be like the beginning of a heck of a week, or a week and a half, 2 weeks going on now. The worst thing that happened was that Monday night after that weekend that I missed. Because I missed that weekend, it stuck me in a position where I was like, another absence and I'm going to get kind of in trouble at work. But that next Monday night, my ex-wife's mom passed away. And that caused all kinds of emotional things for me. Now, I knew her, and I didn't hate her, obviously, but we did kind of have that mother-in-law, son-in-law kind of relationship. We just weren't super close, we weren't super friendly, and I know that things were said about me behind my back, especially after the divorce and everything. But because of, my daughter and everything, there was always a real push to keep everything cordial and friendly and all that kind of stuff. Like I say with a lot of people in a lot of situations, I don't necessarily have to be friends with somebody, but I try my best to be friendly in the right kind of situations where being otherwise just wouldn't be good. So it was tough just to think, wow, here's this person that I knew for all these years, and now she's gone. But what was even tougher was knowing the effect it was going to have on my daughter, the effect it was going to have on her mom, and the effect that it was going to have on my ex-wife's dad. Those are three people who I still care very much about, regardless of the divorce and all that. Obviously, I love my daughter to death, but I haven't stopped caring about my ex-wife. I don't want bad things to happen to her or her family, and I always really liked her dad. So it was just, there were some moments in that where I guess, well, one thing, I was thinking about my own mortality. It's just, when somebody kind of close to you goes, you can't help but feel that way. She had been sick a lot here lately, and so, obviously it's one of those great instances where you can say she's in a better place now and she's no longer suffering. But for those of us who are left behind, there is a certain amount of suffering. And it was really, and it still has been, it's gotten a little bit better now. It's been more than a week. But there were a lot of moments where I was just like crushed at how that was going to make my daughter feel. I thought it was so unfair that at 9 years old, she's lost her first grandparent. I was thinking back on it, and I lost my first grandparent when I was 23 years old. 23 years old, and then 5 years later, so when I was about 28-ish, I lost both my grandma and grandpa on my mother's side, and then I lost my last grandparent just 4 years ago when I was 35, 36. My daughter lost her first when she was 9, and it was probably the relationship with a grandparent that was the strongest and the best for her, because she knows her grandparents on her mom's side very, very well. They live across the alley from my ex-wife and my daughter. Then she knows my dad somewhat because he's in and around this part of the country. She's never met my mom, who I haven't seen face to face in 13 years. But I don't know, there was just a whole lot of time where I was thinking about, death and in regards to myself, in regards to how that was making my daughter feel, and what she was thinking about. She went the first whole day that she knew about it, not really showing any kind of signs of anything major, and then the next day it just didn't work. We wanted her to go to school if she could handle it, and she wasn't there 10 minutes before we were getting the call. So anyway, that's just been a big thing. There's been death involved with people that I know and that people who are important to me this summer a couple of different times. And like I said, I start to question, I don't know if question's the right thing, but I start to think about my mortality. How much longer do I have? Plenty of people have died due to natural causes well before 40. It's just like I said, it's a heavy thing to be thinking about, but for a couple of days, that's where my mind was, and I was sad and depressed for the people who it had affected, and sad and depressed to be thinking about that myself. How much more time do I have? How much of that time am I going to use wisely and positively, or am I going to just continue to, I want to say be the hermit and hide away, but I mean, if that's my personality and lifestyle choice, then so be it, but will there ever be a player two, so to speak, who would understand and go along with it? I've thought a whole lot more about the dating websites things and all that kind of stuff. I hate to think about it, but I've thought about it. I've thought about just unloading all of me, it sounds disgusting, but just putting everything about me into my profile on one of these stupid dating sites and just saying, listen, this is who I am. Depression, social anxiety, I'm a hermit, I'm socially awkward, I don't want to go out and do stuff, I'm broke, I have a shitty job, I'm a bad dad, I'm this and that, I'd rather play video games all day long than go run across the countryside. And I thought about just putting it all out there and seeing what would happen. I just have to kick myself in the ass to get it done. This is the kind of craziness that's been going on in my mind for the last couple of weeks. Sick, a death in the extended former family through marriage, the way that's excuse me. Wow. The way that's affected my daughter, the things that I've been thinking about. Now, I did take the time This is segueing awkwardly into some of the other stuff I wanted to talk about, but I did spend some time, watching a movie. I watched Mad Max and finishing a video game and starting some other games and making a lot of progress on YouTube and whatnot. So there's been some good positives, and I'm just by the mere fact that I'm doing this video, obviously I'm back. Okay, whatever I was trying to do or whatever I thought this might be blocking me from doing was bullshit. It was just mental blockage up here. Had nothing to do with sitting down and talking to this camera and putting videos up on YouTube. But so vlogging, recent viewing, recent gaming episodes, this and that, whatever, just whatever I decide to do, it's going to resume. Obviously, there was no regularity to it before. There'll be no regularity to it now. But I feel a little bit more comfortable up here in saying I can still do this. And it's not a big fucking deal for me to record my thoughts on something after I've watched or played it or read it or whatever. And I can stop putting pressure on myself to do that kind of stuff and just let it flow naturally. That was kind of what I was missing, I guess. I just felt like, gosh, 10 or 15 minutes spent on doing a video over here is 10 or 15 minutes that, I'm not doing YouTube or playing a video game or something. And this is my opportunity, if you've stuck around to this point, to, especially the couple people who commented on that last vlog, thank you for even caring enough to comment, let alone watching any of my stuff. I had kind words spoke to me from people I'd never heard from on the channel before, and that's not a complaint. If you're a silent viewer and you just like to view and watch the stuff, or if you share it or thumbs up it or whatever you do, it's all appreciated. But it was kind of a reality check. It was like, there really are people out there who watch this and who listen to me and who care and who like what I do. So thank you for that. Hopefully you haven't left the channel because of my last vlog. Hopefully you'll see this and you'll watch these videos and if I did anything for you at all, brought you any kind of happiness, or you agreed with me or whatever on something, then I hope that I've kind of brought that back for you. But I think this is going to be fun and enjoyable for me because I haven't had a chance to really talk to anybody about anything in all the time that it's been since I last did a video. And that's a lot of time to kind of have thoughts inside without being able to express them. At least in certain things. I mean, I talked to a lot of people about, my ex-mother-in-law's passing and all that, and coping with that, and dealing with my daughter, having to cope with it. I talked to quite a few friends about it, and it helped me. It made me feel a lot better. But for a whole lot of anything else that I've wanted to talk about, I just haven't had that outlet. So this vlog is back. The channel is back. The videos that I do are back. I have 2 videos in particular to do. One a movie, one a game, and then other thoughts about whatever that come along. I had always wanted to do sort of like a PS4 wish list video, so I'm still going to do that. And I have not given up on the strategy guide collection or the DVD one. I even had this out. This should give you a little bit of a hint as to one of the upcoming videos. But the strategy guide collection video is still incoming. Hopefully while I'm on this vacation I can do it. But anyway, I think that's about it for me. I had 10 bazillion things I wanted to talk about over the last 3 weeks. But at the risk of sounding like a broken record again, I've already said this many a times. If I don't talk about it or write it down or notate it somehow when I first think about it, I'll lose it. And that's kind of what has happened here. I don't remember some of the things I wanted to talk about. So we'll just skip those until they come back up. And anyway, I'm rambling now. So thank you guys for watching this video if you did. And like I said, I'm back. So stay tuned for more videos, and we'll see you whenever those happen.